should be accessible.
There we go. All right, I think we have everyone set. A few more people might enter in the next couple of minutes. But just as we get started, just want to say thank you to everyone for joining our roundtable session today on the most important role of football, corporate social purpose. I'm Kyla Showman. I'm a recently retired Canadian international and Champions League footballer. I've now joined Creating Legacies 17, and I have Nick Gates, the CAC and Creating Legacies 17 founder, with me co-hosting today. You'll also see Adam Burgess, who's head of our Innovate team. He'll be in the chat room answering any questions, sharing some more links on the things that on the topics that we'll be discussing. But I guess to get started and hop right into it, I'm going to share a quick video, and then I'm going to let Nick fully introduce himself and join right into the discussion today. So thanks. Here we go.
In today's world, it is increasingly essential for all businesses in the football sector to have a corporate social purpose, but most don't have the time or resources to design this themselves. As the official corporate social purpose consultant of Soccerex, Creating Legacies 17 is the only NGO providing strategic consultancy to any business in the football sector, aiming to communicate with consumers, engage employees, and align with investors through corporate social purpose. We are delighted to offer you, as a Soccerex attendee, a simple, customizable option to design and implement your corporate social purpose. From free social purpose branding to bespoke multinational initiatives, our experienced team will design, develop, and implement your impactful purpose program. Get started today with a simple message to Kyla, and we will do the rest. Together, we will reimagine corporate social purpose. In today's world,
Just switch over to our presentation here. And Nick, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thanks, Kyla. I was actually too busy looking at the chat box to see where everybody's from. I think it's one of the most interesting parts of my job is that we work on 6 continents in about 130 countries now. And so the opportunity to get voices from all around the world it is really interesting from my side of things. So yeah, my background, just to quickly, I played England under 18s. I then chose to go to a university in America. I set up a company in America prior to the first World Cup in 1994. I then packed that in and put a backpack on my back and went around the world for 2 years to see what football could do to impact the lives of children. I went to about 50 countries. I got enticed back to the Premier League, where I was an executive in the English Premier League. And then after seeing my club Middlesbrough win a trophy, I decided it was time to move on and go into the not-for-profit world, where we set up Coach Across Continents. And as I've mentioned, we now work in about 130 countries, working with an amazing amount of communities. And I'm smiling looking at one of my favorite pictures that's on this slide. So I have the experience. I know how difficult corporate social purpose is. I know how difficult corporate social responsibility. And so hopefully through Creating Legacies, we can help everybody on this call to look at it again and look at it through fresh eyes. We'll also be as quick as we can today. We recognize and we're very grateful for your time. So we're hoping that 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and feel free to ask questions in the chat box. Adam and Brian, a man in the chat box, they'll be talking. So as an organization, we began in 2008 just as Coached Across Continents, and we delivered coaching that addressed things like health and wellness, HIV, female empowerment, and conflict. We're now 14 years later, and we now have 2 brands, CAC, which is our Impact and Instruct. It's the original Coaches Across Continents that does the training, that works with the organizations and the governments in different countries. And then Creating Legacies, we established last year, which was a consultancy brand to help corporations, foundations, federations to look at football and how football can have a bigger impact. So Brian is on the call here. Please feel free to send messages to Brian, who's our chief exec, who's based in Nicaragua at the moment, and Adam leads our Innovate team alongside Kyla. The Creating Legacies CL17, it's a unique brand that we're actually an NGO, we're a charity. So every penny you spend with CL17 is used to change the lives of children around the world. The two programs, the influence part, Brian, myself, and our team work with governments. We work with groups like AFC, the FA, English Football League, various governments around the world to help them with their policies and to create legacies using football. The UN SDGs are what is called the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and there's 17 of those. So looking at our brand language, CL17, we make it as simple as possible. And a couple of examples of the ones that we are really, really strong are health and wellness, quality education, gender equity, but there are 17 from there. The Innovate team led by Adam, who you'll see on chatting on the chat box, he works with corporations and foundations to help them with their CSP and also their cause marketing legacies. This is a picture actually of a program, and Brian can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the program that we ran with Chevrolet in India. Mikel Silvestre was representing Manchester United, and he actually did 6 juggles, all with his left foot. His right foot wasn't as strong from there. A little bit like Kyla, actually, when she talks about playing in the Champions League, a fantastic left-footed player. So reasons why corporate social purpose, and we think it's the most important thing in football right now. If you watch the Euros, an amazing 3 weeks. The day after the Euros finished, everything began about racism in the UK. So, and companies now are jumping on that bandwagon to say there is an opportunity to football to make a difference. It's not just that Italy played incredibly well against England and probably deserved to win. It was forgotten the next day because of the social media abuse and the racism, anti-racism thing. So it becomes very important that what football can do. I think Marcus Rashford's another great example of the change that he was able to make during COVID-19. So companies now, I think, have a responsibility, but I also think it's incredibly difficult to choose what it is that you want to get involved in. So some of the facts that Kyla has put down, people now are looking at companies and saying, it's not just what the product that you've got, but what are you actually doing for society? And so without me going through these numbers, I think the most important one is that people who work for companies who have a strong corporate social purpose are more likely to stay with that company. They feel as though there's a connection. And so I love the employee engagement, and we'll talk about a couple of projects we've run around employee engagement for corporate social responsibility and corporate social purpose. Okay, before we go into the map, any questions? I'm going to quickly look in chat as well so I can see what's going on from there. If you have any questions at any time, please feel free to type it in. Adam is there, Brian is there. And we do a lot of these, unfortunately, a lot of these presentations now on Zoom, and we love the chat box as being something that a way for people to get engaged as quickly as possible. Ben Smith from Silverstone. Any questions? You've been watching Grand Prix recently.
It has been a very busy time in the village, Nick. Noisy, but busy.
Very, very noisy, I can imagine from there.
Right.
And controversial, Formula One getting involved, having to have a social voice as well, with Lewis Hamilton and etc. So it's going to be through all sports.
I see there's someone from the Netherlands on the chat, so I won't say too much. It's racing.
I know. So countries that we work with and corporations that we work with is just a couple of examples of creating legacies and what we've designed. I think one that I was very proud of is a program that we ran with Chevrolet that included a number of their key partners. So Chevrolet, we worked with Manchester United, Liverpool, and LA Galaxy, and we developed, I think it was a 5-year partnership that in the end resulted in Chevrolet getting 77 million views on the YouTube films that we created. So they approached us and said that the branding they were getting from the shirt sponsorship was fantastic, but they needed more stories. And so by working with CL17 and our partner NGO Coach Across Continents, we were able to put together projects in, I think, 8 or 10 countries where we built facilities, and then we trained the local community on how to use the facilities to address social issues. With Nike, I spent a lot of time working with Nike. They have an employee engagement program, and we designed curriculum and then trained employees around the world so that they could work with the local NGOs and give back. And we developed a concept was called Made to Play, and it was recognized by ESPN as a Sports Humanitarian of the Year award in 2020. Adam, who's on the program now, has just done a big project with Rexona about movement, about Made to Move, and how to get people around the world to be active. And so Adam spent a lot of time redesigning it to make it work through film, and creating modules and games that can engage people on 6 continents. So just a couple of examples of the groups that we work with that have chosen CL17 to design their corporate social purpose. We also, and I looked at some of the attendees today who are working with athletes, we also have created a program where players can, in effect, do their own corporate social purpose and work with us. So this is one of the players from the United States, Midge Purse. Midge got involved with our program in Zanzibar about sexual and reproductive health and rights for Muslim women. She was the voice on one of the films that we created, as being a social influencer. And as Midge's career has taken off, it gave her the confidence. You'll see the picture on the right-hand side where she actually is talking to Joe Biden about equal pay for women. So the voice of the young athletes, and we can create the place where they can just get involved with us and can have a very quick and easy win, or we can design their whole social influence and their campaigns as well. So it's a great picture of Nora in Colombia, I think, with her favorite team, Barcelona, on her hat. Advantages of working with us is that we have programs in 130 countries. So we can do something tomorrow if you needed it, or we can design something with you over a longer scale. So it's if you're not too sure how to get involved in corporate social purpose, but you'd like to start, Kyla, Adam, Brian, myself, Lauren, we can work with you to get going on corporate social purpose so it doesn't seem as daunting. And again, we are the only NGO that's doing this. So every time you invest in CL17, it's directly impacting the children, like the one on Nora's back in Colombia. Okay.
I'm going to butt in here actually, just on that note there, and just kind of showcase one of our interactive CSP initiatives called Give Us a Game, that allows you to vote for the UN Sustainable Development Goal that you would like to see impact with your organization. It's a great way to engage consumers, fans alike. So we'll do this, a couple of quick polls with you guys, and you guys can vote on the UN Sustainable Development Goal that you would like to see your organization support. So I'll leave this poll open. You have the chance to shape your organization's corporate social purpose. Simply vote below for the UN Sustainable Development Goal you feel your organization should focus on impacting. So we have quality education, reduced inequalities, and climate action. So get your votes in.
Kai, I'm sorry, I always click the same one. I think for me, climate action is so important. And I know we work at CL17 on 15 of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and the importance of all of them are so very great. But when you always give me that option, I always go to climate. Sorry.
I'm going to end the poll in just 10 seconds here, and we'll see who's leading. All right. So just sharing the poll. You voted on UNSDG 13 climate action. So from here, this is where we have programs and initiatives, and we've impacted over 130 countries in 2020. And now we can relaunch a poll that allows you to choose the program and country that you would like to impact. So here we go. Again, you can vote for the UN Sustainable Development Goal 13 climate action. Choose from 3 global programs below which address this goal for your organization. Which CAC program addressing UN SDG 13 climate action would you like your organization to support? We have Green Kenya in Kenya, Choco Unido in Colombia, and Football Humanity in the Philippines. So keep that open for a few more seconds.
Because of the uniqueness of CL17 being the consultant to help you design programs, but then CAC being able to deliver programs, we have, you know, well over 1,000 partnerships around the world now that we can implement with you if you want to get involved in corporate social purpose.
So as you can see, now you can support Choco Unido in Colombia with us, and they focus on means of social and community transformation using our purposeful play curriculum. So we have tons of curriculum that focus on addressing climate action, and this is one of the programs that we could then support and share the stories of impact that you are then affiliated with, and send cause marketing and branding information for your support. There we go. I'll go back to the presentation here.
So what Adam and Kyla and the team have done has made corporate social purpose very interactive. And so we're going to talk about one of the initiatives on Give Us a Game, but we can set it up for your corporation where you can engage your consumers, that they can be part of your corporate social purpose, that they can, like on a vote like that, they can put together what it is that they think you should be supporting, and then choosing the programs that you'd like to support. So we work on 3 levels at CL17. We can design the program with you. So we can sit with you like Brian and Adam do with Nike and Chevrolet and people like that, and really structure to see what it looks like. They have the experience of being down on the ground and understand what corporate social purpose can do in the communities. Then we develop it alongside the Coaches Across Continent, CAC, and our local partners. So we bring it to life. And then we monitor it, we implement it, we get it going, and then we can report back into the corporate brand what exactly is happening. So they have stories 365 days of the year. So it's not like just doing a one-off event. We can do a one-off event for you, but we would advise now with CSP that for less money, you can have a much bigger impact on programs around the world. So a couple of examples of CL17 and what we have to offer, and we have many different ways of getting involved with us. Give Us a Game is a way that corporations can do a CSP program in just 90 minutes of their time. We can engage with your fans, your consumers, your employees, and we have a way of measuring what it is they want to get involved in, how they want to get involved, and then we can create the program that supports that. So Give Us a Game is a very easy introductory way to work with CL17, and it costs you 90 minutes of your time. There's no money involved. You can just get involved. For us, it's a way of you dipping your toe in the CSP market. Step Up, Kai, I'm going to put you on the spot because this is one of your fantastic programs. And so if you just give the 30-second briefing on what Step Up is, because it's becoming one of the most popular things that we're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Step Up is definitely a passionate project that we're working on for myself. It's based on an experience that I had as a professional player and the lack of opportunities to gain career development skills and also develop your social voice. So with your playing career, you're so focused on just playing and having that focus and focusing on career, but then comes to the end and you're not really sure what you're going to go and what avenues you're going to pursue. So with Step Up, we're able to have athletes join our international team in a flexible environment that they can gain work experience and really develop that social voice and get to engage in projects globally. So for me, it was working in Zanzibar on our SRHR, sexually reproductive health and rights programming with Muslim women, and it was transformational in my development as a player and a person, and it's kind of led me into the career path that I am now. So it's something I'm very, very passionate about, but I think there's a great opportunity for social purpose initiatives with organizations to both have an athlete influencer and impactful project.
Perfect. The next level, the sponsorship level, because we have so many programs in so many countries addressing so many social issues and causes, it's as easy as just saying, I would like naming rights for that group. And you work with us and we cost it out and you have the naming rights, and we provide a year-round support package for you so that you can communicate with your customers, with your athletes, etc. So again, very, very simple to get involved with that. You just choose a country, you choose a UN Sustainable Development Goal, you choose a partner, and we're able to connect it and pull it all together so that you don't have to do any of the work trying to imagine who you work with in which country and how do you address it. And the final one is the higher level partnership with CL17. And this is when we do everything for you, from listening to your idea to creating the program to delivering the program and then reporting back in so that you have a sustainable corporate social purpose initiative. And that's the types of things that when I've talked about Nikes and Chevrolets and ESPNs, etc., that's the level that they engage with. But we'd love you to get involved in whatever level you feel comfortable with. If you're working with athletes, if you're a marketing agency and you're working with other corporates, etc., we can help you deliver it. And it's come from 14 years of experience now. We try to simplify everything so that the results are the most important thing. And additionally, it impacts the lives of children in the communities that you want to impact lives for. So that's it. That's our just inside 20 minutes, I think, or just outside 20 minutes of time, staying inside the 30 minutes. But that's CL17 and why we think corporate social purpose is potentially the thing that football has to now look at, because every time there's a football match, someone's asking about something about in the social world. So any questions, any way that we can help? If you want to type in or talk up, we've got another 5 or 6 minutes. It's from Phil, a really interesting question. Through CL17, we also help corporations understand their messaging. So we've worked with some groups who have, at the starting point, they say, we want to do this, this, and this. But as we talk them through some of the challenges and what might happen, there are some sticky issues. As a not-for-profit, we're able to do it just about everything. But as a corporate, I think you have to be much more careful in terms of what that voice will mean for your consumers and also your employees. So yes, the concept of reduced inequality is a massive target market in terms of the world and what's going on from there. But you can narrow it down. And I would actually say, inside the UN Sustainable Development Goals, there's 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, but there's about 150 targets. And so we would talk with you and say, if you're choosing education, perhaps we'll look in the target and say, which one of those are you most looking at? And so we would home it in. So it gives you an even more interesting story for your consumers, your athletes, and your corporation.
There's another one, Nick, saying, how many people have you influenced around the world, being in over 130 countries?
So we have different measurement tools of direct impact, indirect impact, etc. We were the first group to launch a COVID-19 program that addressed the myths and facts and made football safe and safer over the last 18 months or so. And the initial pickup from that was from organizations who influence 27 million children. Then we have, as we go into direct impact for different organizations, they have their own numbers. So the bigger picture number at Coach Across Continents and CL17 in 2020, I think was just over 27 million children either played games from our curriculum or got education. And then we narrow it down. I think the smallest organization that we work with probably works with 100 children. So gives you an idea of the scale of what can be achieved. And then we're also working with AFC, CONCACAF Women, etc. We don't pull those numbers in as we don't take credit for all the numbers of children playing for AFC or CONCACAF Women, etc. But that also exists as opportunities.
Nick, I just thinking about us talking about the CAC history and where it started and now where it's grown to and the impact. Maybe you can share even just like that introduction and then where we've grown to. Yeah,
the joke at Coach Across Continents when he started, I had a lot of hair, Kai. It was I was starting the world, but we very much started as a coaching organization. But as we got bigger and bigger, the demands for what we knew became so important for the corporations, the governments, etc. So that's how we built it out into CL17, because we have 14 years of data now about how football can be a change maker in the world. There are rankings, Phil, in terms of how corporations are now valued, and part of the rankings now are what their social impact is. And so we've been watching that very, very closely. And some corporations can create a fantastic report. Our experience we can probably see through some of those reports. But there are rankings on the financial side of things that corporations, if they want the further up they go and they're valued, they have to have a CSP part of that to get there.
Ben's written in, what is the greatest obstacle you have in trying to deliver your program in these countries, and also how you try to manage these obstacles? Is there a legacy that is left?
There's certainly a legacy, and we have a campaign, What's Your Legacy? That's why I said right at the beginning, not just to see it as a world of events, but to see it as a sustainable partnership. So we initially started off that all programs we work with, we committed for 3 years. It's now come that everyone who works with us stays within our network and a part of it. But we have a very interesting business strategy that we want to be out of business, that we want it to be locally owned and sustainable as fast as possible. But the network from the legacies, they continue to grow, and there are new problems. The biggest obstacle right now, as it will be with everybody in the world, is COVID-19. The ebbs and flows of being able to do work in different countries and our partners in the different parts of the world. That's a challenge, but we reacted by going much better with technology and being able to support them in different ways.
Charles has also written in, where do you see the most need in the world for work such as yours? Do you have your next big targets for change?
So the CL17, we have some global citizens working at the moment on a history of what it looked like and key moments of what happened with Coach Across Continents and CL17. And the easy answer to this, Charles, is that everywhere needs something. So when I began, I was naive enough to think that the continent of Africa, we began it in Africa because the World Cup was coming in 2010. The big step was when we then did a program in Asia, and then we did a program in Europe. And then we started to realize that everywhere we went, there were social challenges that needed to be met. And so football had a place everywhere in the world. So we're working, Kyla and I are working with Ben in the EFL. Football needs it everywhere. So yeah, just it's identifying what are the things that you think are most important, and then how can football address those?
Perfect. Brian shared an article by Forbes on how athletes and brands are seeing social purpose as a key component and necessary for their business brands. So be sure to check that out.
So I think 1:30 is a finish time, Kai. Just to sum it from us, we are the official partner for Soccerex on corporate social purpose. The last picture that you see is when we took Soccerex into Colombia and they went onto the field and did the work with us. So they put their beliefs into practice and brought it to life by actually going to do it. This partnership with Soccerex, we've worked now for over 4 years. Absolutely fantastic partnership to help football reimagine what it can do. There's a lot of talk now in football about wanting to make change, wanting to be part of the solutions. There's less action, and that's what we want to be part of. We want to help all organizations who feel as though they want to make a change. We can make it as easy as possible for you to get involved, and we work with you on a year-round basis to develop the corporate social purpose that is most beneficial for you. Okay, Kai, over to you, Kai.
Yeah, no, that's great. I believe Adam has put my email address in the chat box. So for any other further questions, we're more than happy to set up a call and dive into what your social purpose journey looks like and how we can aid that. So really appreciate all your time today, and we really hope to connect soon.
Great, really appreciate it from our side, and we really would love to work with you if you have any ideas about what it is you're interested in. So thank you, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.